Welcome into the News 10 Plus desk, everyone, on this rainy, muggy Monday. I'm Taylor next to Claudia.
Yeah, how you doing? It's muggy out there.
Yeah. I know. I had a sweatshirt on this morning, and I walked outside and was like, ugh.
Yeah, I know. And I will say I do really appreciate, we've got really pretty trees all around our station, and they're beautiful right now.
Yeah.
They're like all white, but they're turning pink, and it's really pretty. I actually went out there and was like staring at them for a while. So if it's muggy, at least we can be happy about that.
That is true. Actually, so your brother graduated this weekend. Congrats again.
Yes, my brother and my boyfriend. I sat through 6 hours of graduations. Very fun.
Very supportive.
Very supportive. Great speeches. Love to hear it. But it was long.
Oh yeah. MSU too had theirs. Went to celebrate my brother yesterday, but we were taking pictures after, and like you said with the trees, I was like, go stand next to that tree. It's like nice and colorful. Like it was beautiful.
Yes, and of course, you know, it's hard to get young men to stand in front of pretty trees. They're like, this is dumb. So I was the same way. I was like,
how many pictures do we need?
I know. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. But it's not necessarily for them. It's kind of for everybody who supported them along the way. So, yeah, but did you have fun watching him graduate?
It was nice. He had a funny little there were some
dance?
people, dance across the stage. Some people had their dances.
Choreographed.
Yeah, they were ready. They had people, like some friends were waiting for their other friend across the stage so they could do like a heart together or like something creative. We'll use that word.
Yeah, something creative. Yeah, no, my brother, he couldn't help himself. He saw the camera there and he's like, I have to do something. I don't even know what he did. I was too busy screaming. But it was like a little like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Great. I'm glad that out of all of your educational experience, that is the moment to celebrate. That's what you did.
Yep.
It's awesome. I'm so proud of them. I'm super excited. If you have any graduates in your family, congratulations.
Yes.
We wish them the best of luck as they turn the page in this next chapter. Super exciting.
Yeah.
I love graduation season. I always will. It's just so much fun. And I also think about all the kids getting done with like trade schools too. Such a big accomplishment.
It is.
Cosmetology schools, a couple near where I live, they were done this weekend too. It's such a big accomplishment. So
that or relief, and then they're onward to new things, new adventures.
New things, new adventures. Super exciting. So to all those parents out there, you did it too.
Yes.
Yes, you did it too. All right, well, on Studio 10 today, we've got a really great show for you guys. First off, I want to say all week long we are mominating our moms. So you'll have to watch the show or go to our websites, which right, thank you, Taylor.
Of course.
You can see right there. If you want more information about how to mominate your mom, go to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, anything, or our YouTube as well. Then you can find out how to mominate your mom. And there's gifts involved. There's really great gift cards involved. So I would go check that out. We'll be talking about that all throughout the show too, like here and there. We'll be reminding you how you can mominate your mom. It's going to be really, really fun.
Yes.
And so then we also have a few other things to talk about. Kentucky Derby is around the corner. We're going to be talking about the Derby Party, which is a group that is throwing a big Derby party to actually raise awareness for victims of domestic violence. So fun party, but for a really important cause. And of course, you get to wear the cool hats and everything, which is the best part of the Derby. I think. I love horses, but we're all there for the hats.
Dressing up, yeah.
Yeah, like I just watch for the hats.
Hats are fun.
They are fun.
Like the bigger and like the more decorations they have on. Oh,
I love it. Oh my gosh. And then we are going to be talking a little bit about the new Poet Laureate of Lansing, Claire. We're going to hear from her. It's super exciting because our Poet Laureates actually do a lot more than just read poems. I know that a lot of people might think that's all they do, but way more. They have a big responsibility in the community, and Claire's going to talk all about that. So super excited for that. And then, of course, we have our talkers, which are actually really fun today. We're talking about the draft, which broke records.
Ooh, yeah. So many records.
So many records. It's super exciting. And I'm not even like, I like football, but I'm not like the biggest football fan, but huge fan just of Detroit. This is such an important moment in our history. We're going to be talking about this for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So super excited. And then we're also talking about Capital Respite, which is a new organization right in the area founded by a local couple, actually. One of them was going through a mental health crisis herself, and they kind of realized that when it came to care, crisis care, they didn't have a lot of options other than like inpatient or other like even more kind of scary like it's really hard to access care if you don't really know if you need inpatient, but you don't really know who to talk to. Capital Respite is here to be that peer, that in-between peer service, talking with people who have been there, who have been in those situations where you don't really know, like, do I need inpatient? What do I need to do? They are starting Capital Respite to kind of be that in-between. They're going to help you talk about everything that's going on, and they're going to tell you, do you need like to take the next steps? What should I do here? And they're kind of your in-between, and I talked to them, and they were such a great couple to talk to, and they're just kind of getting started to, they're kind of introducing themselves to the community here, but I actually saw them at the East Lansing 5K and a couple months ago, and I was really blown away by the message that they had, that we can be peers to each other within the community. Sometimes, peers are the best go-between. Yeah. So hearing from them, it's really an inspirational conversation. And also they're just really fun and nice. So you're gonna wanna check into that if you're interested about Capital Respite. Otherwise, we're also talking with Don's Auto about really important auto stuff. We're kind of switching gears here from that winter season to summer, kind of getting our cars ready for that. So really full spectrum of our show today. And super excited to see you at 3 p.m.
All right, we'll see you then, Claudia. And like Claudia was saying, if you want to mominate your mom, you can go to studio10@wilx.com, send them an email, and mominate your mom. So you can do that all right there. And also stay up to date on their social media handles, WILX Studio 10. You can see anything that they've had recently. If you want to go back, rewatch anything, or pass any information forward, you are more than welcome to do that all right there. So make sure that you go check it out. And also, like Claudia was mentioning with the transition from winter over to summer, maybe you're getting out of that winter seasonal affective disorder and maybe transitioning to the summer ones, because that can have an effect too. And also talking about the other services she was mentioning. We do have these resources on our website, WILX.com, and if you bring out your cell phone's camera, you can scan that QR code, and it will bring up a list of resources across our mid-Michigan communities and counties with those mental health care professionals. And there's a variety, speaking of therapy, psychotherapy, counseling, and anything of the sort. Feel free to go check that out when you feel ready to do so, no matter what you're going through, and know that you're not alone. But she was mentioning that transition outside, and it's looking pretty dark over Michigan State University's campus. Again, me and Claudia were just talking about all those graduations over the weekend, so congrats to all of those students. And we're going to bring in Justin now to continue. Oh, wrong thing. To continue talking about that muggy weather outside.
Yeah, it's still hanging on. From the weekend, we had both Saturday and Sunday had some humidity. Today's just carried over. But tomorrow we get a little bit of relief as far as that goes. It's going to feel a little cooler, still above average with temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70, but we're going to have less humidity and sunny skies, and so that'll be good to have back tomorrow. And most of us have stayed dry to an extent until about an hour or so ago today when we had a couple showers come through. This is just a quick line that's going to pass, and then a couple sprinkles this evening is, I think, all we see until maybe towards the end of the week when some more rain returns. So a really nice stretch kind of shaping up here for the end of April tomorrow and the start of May on Wednesday. It looks like a good forecast here for the start of the month of May, I should say. It's amazing we're already to the 5th month.
I know, and those flowers are starting to bloom, but if it is too warm and muggy for you, maybe you don't want that rain jacket, but keep an umbrella in your car for this week.
Yeah, good to have, at least certainly for the tonight, and then by the late week you'll want it back too. Decent forecast though. Middle of this week looks good. A lot of different things going on as far as the weather goes, and most of it's good. So we're getting back into a nice pattern. I did want to show a Skycam outside, the Jackson Skycam on the Meridian Company Skycam network. A little ominous looking as we've still got a few showers dancing around the area, but it's dry right now in the downtown area. 73 degrees. That southwest breeze continues to pump in a little bit of humidity, which has kind of hung around. As we mentioned, dew points in the upper 50s to low 60s. Although satellite and radar shows the little disturbance that's skating on by, we saw a couple of those showers move through. and a lot of them are blowing by the area now. You just saw from the sky cam in Jackson how dark it looks. That's that little pocket of rain that's moving into western Jackson County right now. That'll blow through in about the next 15-20 minutes, and after that we should get back into some drier weather. For most of the rest of today, I think it isn't really until the evening we dance a couple of showers in here, and even those, we'll call them few showers at that. Backing out, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Now, the system has moved generally off to the north and east of our area. There is a little bit of a rain shield down towards the Indiana-Illinois border, but that, for the most part, is going to stay south. That might go into the Metro Detroit area later on this evening, where they have a very low-end severe storm threat off east in the state. We do not have it here, and so we're not expecting any severe weather of the like. And so heading into this evening, again, generally not too bad as far as our sky conditions go. We'll probably hold on to more clouds than anything else, though, and you can see that the temperatures cooled off a touch behind that rain that moved through. So Lansing, Charlotte, Marshall, all those areas along I-69, you notice, are now down into the upper 50s after reaching the low 70s, which are what the numbers are still holding on to in Mason and Jackson, as well as Hillsdale. And again, I think we'll see a little bit of a reflection once these rain showers blow through at the top of the next hour. We'll probably see places like Mason and Jackson around that 68, 69 degree mark as well. But you notice that it's a little warmer off towards Ann Arbor, 77. We've got a couple numbers towards Metro Detroit, close to 80 degrees. The number a little bit warmer that direction. But once again, for the most part, we are seeing a quieter pattern heading into our overnight. So here's the hour by hour, which again, is going to show you a couple of those showers that linger around this area heading into the overnight, but then they fade away. And I think even by dinner time, a lot of us are going to be seeing dry conditions by 6, 7 o'clock this evening. After the sun goes down, we maybe catch one more sprinkle before it's all done overnight, and eventually the temperatures do settle on the low 50s overnight. So that's how we'll start off Tuesday morning. But tomorrow morning, not only will you notice that the temperatures are a bit cooler, running in those lower 50s to upper 40s, but you'll notice a lot less humidity even tomorrow morning. And I think as the day goes on, it'll be more noticeable. Even as the sun comes out, our dew points are hanging firm in the 40s tomorrow instead of the 50s and 60s they've been for these past couple of days. And so our hour by tomorrow afternoon, we're between about 66 and 68 degrees in most of mid-Michigan, and that's a really, really nice temperature to be at for this time of year to round out the final day of April, which is tomorrow. And doing that with a lot of sunshine is going to feel really comfortable outside too. So good conditions in our skies headed into our final day of the 4th month of the year. Now we do go back to the 40s heading into our Wednesday morning. I think we'll bring in a couple more clouds, but I'll still call it partly cloudy on Wednesday. And I think we're going to get temperatures back up well into the 70s again Wednesday. Another day that might have a little more humidity than tomorrow, but less humidity than we have outside right now. So that's good news. And that should be the case as we go throughout most of the rest of this forecast moving forward. So tonight the low goes to 52. Again, those evening showers work into the forecast, and then the 10-day forecast here, it looks pretty good, to be honest. I know you see a lot of really small rain chances, 50% or less over the next 10 days. There are about 5 or 6 of them that will creep into the forecast, but generally speaking, this is pretty good for the time of year. In fact, we don't have any numbers that are below normal either in highs or lows over the next 10 days as we kind of ride out this generally pleasant pattern. We also don't have a lot of real heat settling in. The warmest day is Thursday's 80, but every other day is pretty much between 70 and 75. And so a pretty good forecast here as we turn the month over in the calendar to May beginning on Wednesday. Again, a couple dry days here in the midweek, and so that's good news. We won't have to worry about the rain showers. Any of that yard work you want to do, if you're trash or lawn pickup day is Thursday or Friday, you're going to luck out, because either tomorrow or Wednesday, maybe even early Thursday, you can get out there and take care of any of that without a problem. Get those out to the curb, and then again, we see temperatures back in the 70s again this weekend and for the end of the week. And just a couple showers we have to dance around. And even those, as you notice here, we've got the sun and rain icons for any of those shower opportunities. That's because we don't have any dreary, overcast, complete washout days at all in the next 10 days. It's a very kind of spotty, showery pattern. And so it's a pleasant one, because it means that even on the days we do get rain, we also probably get a little bit of sun here and there on those days too. And so there's a lot to look forward to, and I talk about it a lot, how much I love the month of May. There's a lot of reasons that I do, and I think I'm going to be, I don't know if the word is vindicated, but it's exciting to be able to see a nice stretch like this play out, where even again the showers are going to come with sunshine too mixed in, and Really, really nice forecast. We're going to keep the lawns and the greenery all freshed up, continue to see blooms, no cold snaps. The coldest low temperature I have is tomorrow night, and it's 48, which is above normal for the time of year. And so we're doing pretty well as far as those numbers go. You get those cool, somewhat crisp mornings, comfortably crisp mornings, and then really, really pleasant afternoons with numbers in the low 70s. And so I think both air conditioning units and heaters are probably going to get a good deal of a break here the first 2 weeks of May with really pleasant conditions out there. You can kind of open and close the windows as you please based on how you're feeling without having to worry about paying those bills at least as high as they could be otherwise. And so good looking forecast here moving forward. Tomorrow, again, the coldest day, it's 68, and that's pretty good for the time of year, and so we are enjoying that, and the trend is going to show that here. The normal high is about 64. All those numbers, even the cold day, if you want to call it that, tomorrow, 68, I would never consider a cold day, but that's pretty decent, and so looking like we should have some decent weather for that. I see a question here from Marion about the Tiger game this evening. Is that a 6:40 first pitch later on? I'd have to double check on that, but I know they are in action tonight. They are at home, I believe. And so
6:40, yes.
6:40 against the Cardinals and taking them on. And so, over towards the Detroit area, it's looking like they have a couple shower storm chances that move through late this afternoon, really towards the evening. But generally speaking, it looks like I don't think, if anything, that game is going to be rained out. I don't think it's going to get canceled, anything like that. They do have a very, as I mentioned earlier, small severe weather risk heading into the evening, but it's really not a high one at all, and so that's good news. So really, I'm expecting that by the time we get to 6:40, 7 o'clock, probably got dry conditions down there at Comerica Park, which is good. I do think it's possible for you to catch a shower throughout the evening, just like it is here. But I don't think it's anything that'll really rain you or wash you out. So I think you should have some decent weather for that if you're planning on going down towards it. I do think the weather will be better over the coming days if that's something that you're looking for, Marion. So thank you for your question and for watching us. Got a couple of good opportunities moving forward here, like we mentioned in our 10-day forecast here. You got a couple of different shower opportunities, but for the most part, we are seeing some generally pretty pleasant weather here moving forward. And so that's good news, and we'll, again, enjoy kind of seeing that. And so pretty nice here. So pretty good conditions across the area, like I said, and I've repeated so many times. Again, generally pretty decent forecast here around mid-Michigan, and so we are enjoying that.
Yeah, no, that is great weather to look forward to. And I remember you mentioning for a while now that May does have more of the consistent weather, temperatures, all of the above, and that's why you look forward to it. And you're seeing that in the 10-day forecast.
Yeah.
And honestly, it will be nice with the showers to kind of cool things off, like you said, get the greenery and the plants going. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it'll just be nice, especially because you had the little, and I'm forgetting the term right now, I'm blanking on it, the red flag warning, yes?
Oh yeah, yes. Back when it was dry last week, yeah, we had some of that, and then of course we also had the very cold conditions overnight. We had a couple of those heavy frosts and even hard freeze nights where we were watching the crops, watching the flowers, and all of that. And so again, don't have any of that in this forecast. And so I feel pretty confident at this point in the season where if you're one of those people and you're looking to do a little bit of planting now at this point and you haven't yet, well, if this forecast isn't indicative enough for you, it's looking like you should be able to do that without a problem. With, again, 48 being the coldest overnight low in the next 10 days. Get those plants in the ground. Get those gardens started if you haven't already. I'm sure a lot of you with the green thumb know far more than I do. But if you haven't done that already, I would say it is very safe to do so now. Moving forward, the forecast looks pretty good. And, hey, those couple showers will freshen them up for you, too. And so it'll be good to have in the forecast. It's a pretty nice one moving forward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It'll be very nice, and I know there's some Lugnuts games, there's some other games happening. Yeah, we'll have to catch you at the next one.
Lots of things going on. I might try to make it over there. We'll see how everything pans out, but, yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh, yes. Well, looking forward to it, and of course, with all of the different showers coming at different times in different areas, you can always stay up to date with the First Alert Weather app.
Yeah, and that's of course, the best tool to have, especially when you're wondering how we're going to dance around these certain rain showers moving through the area, planning for storms, which again, we've avoided those severe weather threats these past 2-3 days, even though other areas real close by have not been able to be as lucky as we have. And for the days that we're not, it's good for you to have this in the palm of your hand and in your back pocket, because you get severe weather alerts, you get a radar with accurate forecasts, and these are frequently updated once again. In Google Play and the App Store, it's absolutely free, like the best things in life, and like the month of May, which once again is one we really love to enjoy. So First Alert Weather App's a great tool. Good looking forecast moving forward, but again, do have a couple of those spotty rain chances here and there. To time everything out, when you can't catch us on air, online, or on our other platforms, the First Alert Weather App is the place to go.
Yes, it is. And we will be seeing you not only on Studio 10 and First at 4, but...
Yeah, I've got double duty this evening. So I got every show you watch on News 10 from here up until midnight tonight. Andy Provenzano getting some much deserved and hard-earned vacation time. And you know, that's the whole weather team is doing that, because pretty soon here I'm going to be off for a couple of weeks when my son is born, which was gearing towards early. It's hard to believe we're like 34 weeks now, so we're getting there. It's coasting by. I'm trying to enjoy the sleep while I can, everybody.
Yes,
so
please.
you know, that's what we're doing. What little I can get. But yeah, so you'll have me today, tomorrow for that. Andy will be back on Thursday. You'll have Colton for him on Wednesday. And so we're just kind of dancing around. Everybody's trying to get their time in before that takes place. And so we'll look forward to seeing you for all those newscasts this evening.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll see you then, Justin.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. And
Of course, yeah.
we'll keep an eye on all the showers and everything for you coming up, again, starting with Studio 10 going up until midnight.
Yep.
Best of luck.
Yep, thank you very much. Sounds good.
Of course. I want to show what we have coming up during our 90 minutes of news, starting with First at 4. And so during Mid-Michigan Matters today, we are talking about Autism Acceptance Month. And so you've probably heard it also, Autism Awareness Month. But some of the interchangeable wording here with acceptance is, you know, we are aware that autism, that people are living with autism. Now the acceptance part involves inclusion and how we can get them more involved in our lives and how we can be more welcoming to them and create facilities and centers and different areas, activities that are more inclusive for them so that they can participate too. So we're going to share all of that information coming up today during Mid-Michigan Matters. And then coming up, News 10 at 5 o'clock. Isley Herschel has quite the story for you, and I'm going to show you real quick what you can expect with a live look over Michigan State University, because it ties into them. So coming up on News 10 at 5, Isley is going to be talking about the MSU water polo team going to the national championship. So make sure that you are tuning in for that. And then I'll take this off. We'll head back on over to what you can expect for our 90 minutes of news. There we go. And so coming up, News 10 at 5:30. Our Washington correspondent reporter, Zachariah Wheaton, will be sharing how staffers for the Michigan House of Representatives are looking to unionize. So we'll have that story, again, coming up News 10 at 5:30. And then coming up News 10 at 6, Deanna Giles is on a story about the city of Jackson finding ways to address panhandling downtown. It's impacting businesses and residents. And so Deanna says she spoke with the Business and Jackson Chamber of Commerce, and she'll have that story coming up News 10 at 6. Plus, News 10 at 6, Tanaya Jordan is talking about the pesky construction issues on Michigan Avenue and talking with those businesses and how they're being interrupted because of, well, all the orange barrels and all the construction and detours that we're having to weave in and out around. So,
my goodness.
Oh, yes. How about you, Erin? You have, of course, been going around for your story today. So how is just getting that with the construction?
Yeah, so today actually I was Zoom Central. So I did not have to leave the news station for work, but earlier this morning heading into work, I got rerouted totally. I live in the East Lansing area, so typically I hop on the highway, zip on right over, but this time it took me to like the heart of Lansing and then over, so I had a totally different route today because of construction.
Like, where am I?
yeah, I do Apple Maps every day, like religiously, because you never know when there's going to be some construction that's starting, and I want to make sure I've always, got the backup slowdowns, construction, make sure I'm aware of them, or at least my phone can make me aware of them.
Yes, even though, we alert here on News 10, there's so many construction projects that we ourselves forget what is going on.
Yes. So yeah, definitely recommend using Apple Maps to get around Michigan these days. But today I was on a Zoom call, two separate Zoom calls with some researchers at Michigan State University. They just published a study talking about paid family leave, so paid maternal leave, essentially, and how it impacts the outcomes for, or the chances for child abuse or neglect. They actually found a direct correlation where, you know, states in the U.S. where they provide paid, or they mandate, you know, paid family leave or paid maternal leave, have less instances of child abuse and neglect. So they found direct correlation that having paid family leave improves outcomes for children.
Both maternal and paternal.
Yes, overall. It was a really interesting study, but what I learned while talking to them, which I thought was even more interesting, we're doing a little question really quickly.
Okay.
Taylor, how many countries in the world do you think provide, or I'm going to flip that around. How many countries in the world do not provide mandated family leave, paid family leave? Take a guess.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is 100% going to be a guess right here. How many don't?
How many don't have it? What do you think?
I'm going to say a large majority of them don't.
No, actually, there's only 5 countries in the world that do not have mandated paid family leave, and the United States is one of them. The other,
That's a shock.
I know, that's what I said.
Well, okay, the U.S., yes. The other ones, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, good. That's awesome that they do cover that.
Yeah, but U.S. is in company with some other countries like Papua New Guinea, Micronesia, which I had never even heard of. But yeah, only 5 countries in the world don't provide paid family leave, and the U.S. is one of them, which I thought was very interesting.
Well, I was going to say, there's so many countries. So
yes, oh my goodness.
I
don't even know how many countries there are, but so I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
But here in the U.S., 14 states, well, they say 14 states provide paid family leave. So they looked at the states in the U.S. where there is paid family leave and where there is not. And they compared those two groups, and they found that in the states where they did have paid family leave, the child abuse and neglect rates kind of stay a little bit stagnant. But in the states where they do not have mandated paid family leave, child abuse and neglect rates keep increasing. So while it may not sound, awesome that abuse and neglect rates are staying the same, that's in comparison to other states where it just keeps going up. So I thought that was really interesting. And obviously
it's an eye-opener.
Yeah, and there's a lot of debate going on right now at both the federal and state level about paid family leave, proposals, laws that are being proposed to implement paid family leave, and a lot of people are arguing against that, saying it's going to be expensive, it's going to increase taxes. That's either going to be hard on the small businesses or hard on the taxpayers. And in speaking with the MSU researchers, they actually had a really interesting point. They said that one of the highest or most expensive problems the U.S. has as it pertains to social, welfare, that sort of thing, is actually child neglect or abuse. One of the most expensive things. So their thought is that having paid family leave will actually reduce the amount of money the United States spends on caring for children who have been abused, caring for children who have been neglected, because, they're going into foster families, foster homes, different social care programs, and that it takes a lot of money, to care for a child. Yeah. And when they've been abused or neglected, they often get placed in the hands of the state. So when the state is...
And then you're using the state and federal money for those resources.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's adjusting that strategy to help them not be neglected, and so they can have more of that standard, or hopefully, have a more happy, smooth transition to life.
Yeah. So the thought from these researchers is maybe it would be a little bit of an increased cost on the front end, trying to prevent child abuse, but they do believe there would be a cost savings on the back end of having less children who have been neglected or abused to care for. Yeah. So really interesting stuff. I am going to take a little bit more of a deep dive on the topic on News 10 at 5. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit more, News 10 at 5 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Erin. And like you were mentioning with the neglect and some of the hardships that people go through, I do want to share one last time our You're Not Alone series. Again, you can tune into Erin's story, News 10 at 5, for more on that. Thank you, Erin.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor.
Of course, and coming up here, You're Not Alone series. Again, this is what we're sharing. If you have gone through neglect, some sort of trauma, depression, anxiety, addiction, gambling, a loss of identity with yourself, Maybe you're having a tough time with your relationships, and that does not have to focus on romantic relationships. That could be work relationships, personal, your family, your friends, even with yourself. Let's start with that relationship, the most important one, the relationship with yourself. Go ahead, you know yourself better than anyone. Go scan that. Well, you got to be truthful with yourself, but that sometimes is hard to do. So know that you're not alone. You have support systems around you. And when you are ready, and scan that QR code and have those resources readily available for you when you do need them. So just want to share that for anyone out in the community who may be looking for those resources. We have a place where they are provided. And like Erin was mentioning, her story has the study is happening with Michigan State University. And so we're going to take one last live look at this over East Lansing here. And so you know that Erin's story is coming up News 10 at 6, and then again, Isley Herschel had her story coming up News 10 at 5, talking about MSU water polo team heading to the national championship, which is awesome. So taking that live look, and of course, speaking of water, just looking at the clouds and the rain showers and chances we'll be getting sporadically throughout the day. But make sure to tune in to Studio 10 coming up in just under half an hour here with Justin Bradford filling in the rest of the day to share your updated forecast. So that is what you can look forward to coming up Studio 10, and so many more things like Claudia was mentioning, like mominating your mom for Mother's Day coming up in just a short few weeks. Time is going to fly. So this is why they're letting you know now that you can mominate your mom, get something going to show the support in return for your mom, because I'm sure there are a lot of moms who put forward the sacrifices and care for their children, and sometimes they prioritize themselves last. So that is what you can look forward to. And one last thing I do want to mention, speaking of a mom, a recent one is Kayla Kent and Justin Kent. There you go. Oh, take away that Studio 10. But yeah, so they brought their daughter Isabella to her first Lansing Lugnuts game past Wednesday against the Dayton Dragons, and the Lansing Lugnuts won 11-4. Great game for that series. And then you were seeing Isabella, Justin Kent, of course, one of our News 10 reporters over here, and then his beautiful wife Kayla and their adorable baby Isabella. So that's what we want to share. And of course, if you want to go to a Lansing Lugnuts game, they have their second series against the South Bend Cubs this week for their 2-week homestand. So they're in the last stretch, and then next week they're heading down to Ohio. So if you want to catch a Lansing Lugnuts game, again with the beautiful temperatures, make sure to go check that out, and you can stay up to date on the First Alert weather app for all of those traffic alert updates and, of course, your First Alert forecast updates. But that is what we have coming up today on News 10. And I also want to share, I know, Dorothy, I see pollen count on forecasts. We have done a few allergy stories here, talking about Justin Kent, I believe, did a story on the, not necessarily pollen count, but talking about how allergy season this year is going to stretch even longer than last year, and it's going to be even more hard-hitting than last year too. So if you've got bad allergies like me, maybe you're sneezing, maybe you're congested, your eyes are getting the pollen and allergens in them, and you're kind of having to get the contact solution or rub your eyes a bit, and they're feeling itchy, scratchy, and irritated. It's the allergy season, so we'll make sure to keep you updated on that as well. I know even on First at 4 during Mid-Michigan Matters, we're working on getting an allergist. We're getting our schedules all lined up, so we want to get all of that going. I do see that Chris Schultz says he uses the Waze app, and he prefers that over Apple and Google. Chris, I also use Waze. Sometimes, though, they get a little tricky, so I go back and forth. But yes, that is another great tool to have on your phone as well, to navigate around all the construction projects going across mid-Michigan. And again, Tanaya Jordan will have that story on the Michigan Avenue construction coming up during our 90 minutes of news. And I see Tabitha Harwood congratulating the new parents, Justin Kent and Kayla Kent, again with their adorable baby, Isabella. So thank you, everyone, for those who have contributed to the conversation today. Justin Bradford, excuse me, I said Justin Kent so many times. Now I got to switch to the other Justin. Justin Bradford will have more of your First Alert forecast, tracking those storms, thunderstorms, but more so the beautiful summer-like temperatures you're going to be experiencing this week for the first start of May, which May 1st is this Wednesday. So you've got today and tomorrow to enjoy your last bit of April, soak it up, and that's what the rain will be doing today, and then you can experience the first week of May, which is going to be beautiful. And Justin, again, will share more into that coming up Studio 10 today in just under half an hour, followed by First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. So you can catch us then. We hope you will join us, and have a great Monday and a great week, everyone.